Belle Island is a small island located in Conception Bay, Newfoundland. Belle Island was settled in 1740 by Gregory Normore. Newfoundland and Belle Island specifically became the backbone of a growing nation, with people traveling from far and wide to work in their fishing and mining industries. First known as Great Belle Isle, there are 3 small communities that make up the whole of the island, the largest of them being Wabana. Wabana grew in size during the 1890s when the Wabana iron ore mines first began operations. It was the Butler family from Port de Grave that first staked mining claims on the north side of the island, before they were sold to the Nova Scotia Steel Company. The town was named Wabana by Thomas Cantley, an official with the Nova Scotia Steel Company. Belle Island was once a thriving area. At its peak, the island had around 12,000 residents. There were once around 100 businesses open during Belle Island's highest population years, including 18 schools, 3 churches, 4 halls, 3 hotels, over 30 shops, 2 theaters, a bank, a hospital, and an arena. Mining began on Belle Island in 1895. Around 160 miners were employed, most either native to Belle Island or from the surrounding area of Portugal Cove. In December 1895, the first shipment of iron ore left Belle Island for Nova Scotia. Other small shipments went to the United States, Scotland, and Germany. In 1899, a portion of the Scotia Company's mining rights were sold to the Dominion Steel Company. This move introduced the growth of the steel industry in Nova Scotia that was based upon the shipments of iron ore from Belle Island. By 1903, the lack of surface ore forced the 2 companies mining ore from Wabana to begin underground mining. New infrastructure was also being built to introduce submarine mining over the next few years. Belle Island's mining drove the local economy, and by 1923, Belle Island was the 2nd largest community in Newfoundland. Events such as World War I and the Great Depression brought halts to Belle Island's mining, but it would always come back stronger than ever. In 1927, a new contract with Germany was signed, bringing prosperity back to the industry. If not for Germany during the Depression years, the mines of Belle Island would have closed way earlier than expected. After large surface ore deposits were found in other parts of Canada and cheaper foreign competition, the Wabana mines began closing one by one. On June 30th, 1966, the last submarine mine, number 3, closed, which brought the end of mining on Belle Island after 71 years. In that time, around 79 million tons of ore had been shipped from the island. Naturally, the resource-driven industry of Belle Island suffered, and a large number of people moved to St. John's. Aside from Belle Island's incredible mining history, they also had a flurry of activity during World War II. With the presence of the German Navy in Atlantic waters, the Newfoundland militia was called into action to protect Belle Island's resources. The majority of Belle Island's ore was sent to Sydney, Nova Scotia, and represented around 30% of Canada's productive capacity of steel at the time. It's common knowledge that German U-boats traveled as far as the St. Lawrence River to wreak havoc, while the Allies attempted to ship supplies overseas. The Canadians were concerned about the possibility of the enemy using bays along the coast as bases to attack their shipping ports. Ultimately, this did little to help the eventual attacks against Belle Island. The anchorage used for bulk carriers sending iron ore to Europe was attacked on 2 occasions, September 5th and November 2nd, 1942. On September 5th, 4 freighters loaded with ore were awaiting orders. Around noon, Saginaga, a British freighter, was struck by 2 torpedoes and sunk with 7 crew members. Minutes later, the Canadian freighter Lord Strathcona was also hit. Thankfully, the crew had already abandoned the ship and no one was hurt. In the early morning of November 2nd, the Belle Island ore docks were hit again. This time, it was the SS Rosecastle and the Free French ship PLM-27. The poor visibility helped shield the enemy U-boat as it made its way around the area. Over 70 lives were lost during these 2 tragic days. On top of that, an errant German torpedo struck the Dominion Steel and Coal Company loading dock, where iron ore was loaded onto ships. This makes Belle Island one of the only locations in North America to receive a direct attack from the German forces during World War II. Just as other small towns have had to pivot their industry, so too has Belle Island. Belle Island tourism has begun to highlight the area's history throughout murals, signs, and other memorable tributes to what once stood on the island. One of the signs is a photo of my family's meat market shop, which was known as a staple around town. The Belle Island Community Museum is home to the No. 2 Mine Tour. The museum houses several photos and artifacts from Belle Island's mining boom and allows you to travel through time to visit inside the actual No. 2 mine. Several walking tours around the area delve deeper into Belle Island's history. These include the Haunted Walking Tour, the Grubb's Nest Tour, the Historic Scotia and Dominion Tour, and the Gregory Normore Coastal Trail. Dix's Fish and Chips and Keeper's Cafe are great local spots to eat, each with views of Belle Island's front and the Belle Island Lighthouse. The lighthouse, originally built in 1940 and replaced in 1966, stands 290 feet above sea level and has come to the rescue of many fishermen over the years. Many locals enjoy discussing the island's comings and goings over coffee and breakfast at the coffee shop, before lining up for the ferry to head to work on the mainland, if the ferry is running on time, that is. The Belle Island Ferry has become known for its tardiness. Belle Island holds many special memories for me. My grandfather and his family are from there, and I was able to visit for the first time in 2006. In the summer of 2021, I visited again and saw most of my family members I hadn't seen since I was a young child. It was such an incredible experience, and I know I'll be back soon. I'll see you next time in Delhi, Ontario.